Howdy, folks. Owen from EMF as always. I had an interesting question come through, and I felt it warranted a video to explain the answer to the question. It was basically, what is bulking and cutting? What's a dirty bulk? What's a clean bulk? And why, when trying to lose weight, are we also trying to build muscle? Are they not two separate things? So, to answer your question, to answer this person's question, a bulk is ideally a period of time where you're trying to build muscle. Possibly build strength as well, may or may not be part of the goal, but it usually is. And a dirty bulk would be eating all around you to ensure that you have enough calories in order to build that amount of muscle. If you gain fat, so what? As long as you're gaining as much muscle as possible, that is the goal of a dirty bulk. A clean bulk would be to gain as much muscle as possible and minimize any fat gain. A clean bulk will be a lot more precise. It'll be a lot slower, I guess, in terms of seeing any changes. Because on the dirty bulk, you'll get quite big, but you could be quite doughy, quite fluffy, let's say. But you ensure that the muscle is built as well as plenty fat gain. And the clean bulk, it's probably a better way of doing it if possible, because you don't want to gain a whole lot of fat when you're bulking, because you want to lose that fat then in order to reveal the muscle and look that huge shredded shape. That's what people want. Humongous muscles, males anyway, and shredded lean body fat. So you have to have the block of clay first, and then we can go sculpting to some degree. Now, when trying to lose weight, let's say most people will come to me and they'll be a little bit overweight. They'll be, let's say, a little bit under muscled, if that's even a term. So we kind of try and do both initially. And with a beginner or someone who has taken a period of time off weight training, you kind of can achieve both ends of the goal. You can lose some body fat and gain some muscle. Now, the rate of muscle gain in humans is quite slow, quite small. You might gain 1 to 2 pounds a month of pure lean tissue. So it's almost hard to detect that on a scales. Body fat will help you detect it even better. Pictures, measurements, strength, performance, and lots of different indications in the gym. If your weight is going up in terms of the weight you're lifting, if the volume, the amount of reps, the amount of sets you're doing, if you can do 10 reps with a given weight and feels like an 8 out of 10 of hardness, and a couple of weeks later it feels like a 7. So you're adapting to lifting that weight, and over time you'll be able to lift more weight, do more reps, so that your body is building the pathways to make that process more efficient. And that's usually accompanied by a strength increase or a size increase, or both, ideally. So when trying to lose weight, we want to ensure that we preserve muscle mass, because you could go on a crash diet, like a boxer, and try and lose every pound of water, every bit of, like loads of weight, and you could sacrifice a bit of muscle and try and lose a bit of fat and just totally blow all the weight off you. Anything that's going, let it be gone, and we just see a number on the scales and we're happy. Unlikely, because if I was 100 kilos and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, don't like the look of me there, and I stepped on the scales and I was 90 kilos and I looked in the mirror and I was the exact same looking as I did at 100 kilos. Sure, that's no good. Like, I want to look different, look better due to my weight loss. Not that the loss is all that I care about. Just a number, hurrah, the beach is ready for me. No, I want to be ready for the beach. Or let's say if that is the goal, or the disco, whatever. So either of those two. So when losing weight, we are trying to keep protein high in order to support or spare the muscle that we have. Now, when you're losing weight, you may reveal some of the muscle that you have, which makes it look like you're getting more muscly or musclier. Not really. You're just revealing what you already had. But because when beginners start working on calories and protein amounts and carbs and fats, they may not always be in a deficit losing weight. Sometimes they may be in a surplus or be at maintenance, and you're kind of, it's not like straight line fat loss. Sometimes it's up and down. Maybe on those up days you gained a bit of muscle, and you're not going to gain muscle on a day, but over a period of 6 months you'll have different little periods of kind of fat loss and muscle gain, strength loss, strength gain, just depending on all the things that are going on in your life. So for a rank beginner over, let's say, a 6 month period of time, they can gain substantial muscle and lose substantial fat and look better, and then think that they can do that forever. But unfortunately that is not the case. As you get more advanced into it, the body gets a bit kind of smart to what's going on and is just like, we don't need to do this. This person is just doing this for no reason. Like, it's supplementary to requirements. We don't need to be putting on muscle, wasting resources. We don't need to be burning fat, wasting our insulation. We need that. We want that. So you have to be a little bit more diligent with your programming, and not just programming your training, but programming your nutrition for phases of trying to purely gain muscle and giving all your resources and energies to that, then periods of maintenance to let all those mechanisms relax, followed by potentially another period of fat loss. Or you could do 2 to 3 periods of muscle gain in a row. That could be 6 months, and then you could maintain for a month, and then you could do 2 to 3 periods of fat loss. That's another 6 months. That's 13 months of training there. When you get to intermediate, maybe advanced level, I've been training 10 years. I'm advanced whether I want to be or not. And for all the problems would have been, advanced, it's not a good place to be, because that means I'm training for a year to eke out a pound or two of muscle. Or you could always lose fat easier, because it's a little bit more of a straightforward process than gaining muscle. Gaining muscle is hard, and especially based on your genetics, you can just be adverse to it. Everyone can lose a bit of fat, and you can really push yourself to lose fat if you have the determination, the will, and the kind of the support system. But look, to answer those questions, that's what a dirty bulk is, and that's what a clean bulk is. And that's why when you're beginning a fat loss regime, it might seem like you're doing both, but that's only because you're able to. That won't last, unfortunately. All right, thanks. EMF over and out. Any questions, let me know, and I'll try and answer them if I want.